Hello, my name is Miss Melissa and I am a teaching artist with the Acadiana Center for the Arts in Lafayette Parish School Systems in Lafayette, Louisiana. I am here today to show you how to draw your very own animal in its natural habitat. Now, there's a special part of this art project today because you get to actually choose your favorite toy animal figurine. You're going to pick your favorite one, and I'm sure you have plenty, and we're going to bring it outside. You're going to trace the shadow of that animal from the sun to draw your animal. Okay, so let me show you. Right here, I have the dinosaur, the same dinosaur that I used in both of these pictures. This is actually the shadow from this dinosaur created by the sun that I actually traced, okay? And then I made this picture. So this is what I chose. You may have a different dinosaur that you want, or maybe some wild animals like a giraffe and an elephant. So you're gonna pick one animal for today, okay? Now after you choose your animal, I'm gonna show you how to draw your animal in the habitat. So what is a habitat? Before we start, what does that mean? If you were thinking it is the place where the animal lives, his home environment, what's around him, you are correct, okay? So we're gonna do those two things today and I will see you outside. So go ahead and choose your animal. These are the supplies that you are going to need to make your shadow puppet animal in its natural habitat. You're going to need a sheet of white paper, just regular white copy paper, or any kind of paper that you have, a pencil, some markers, as I have, or you can have crayons or colored pencils, something to color with. And you just need one toy figurine of an animal. Now I have a few. You can see I have two dinosaurs, which is a prehistoric animal, and then I also have two wild animals, which you could also see in the zoo. You could have farm animals like cows and horses. You could have domestic animals like kittens, dogs, or you can have sea animals. So any group of animals that you would like, you just need one of your favorite toy animal figurines to draw from. And we're going to be using the shadow made from the sun, which is why we're outside. Oh, and you will need something hard to draw on. I have a board. You may need to get a book, maybe a piece of cardboard, or even if you have the cement, okay? So these are your supplies. Go ahead and pause the video, and I'm going to show you how to draw your animal with a shadow. So today we are going to draw the shadows of the animal figurine that you choose. Well, how does that happen? The only way we can draw the shadow of an animal outside is if the sun is not directly above us. It has to be, late morning, like 10 or 11 o'clock, or sometime in the afternoon, like 2, 3, or even 4 o'clock. So as you could see, I'm gonna move my camera. Do you see this tree right here? Look at the shadow of the tree trunk and branches that it's making on the ground. That means if the shadow is on the left side and the tree is in the middle, the sun is really coming in from the right side. So if you can find a spot in your yard or outdoors and place your animal down on your sheet of paper that's on top of your hard surface, you can move it around and then you can actually get the shadow so you can trace it with a pencil. We're actually going to put the shadows of the chosen animal onto our paper. I'm going to show you how to do this. So I want to show you the different types of shadows you can make. I gave you some examples earlier. Let's say if you wanted to go with the dinosaur. Look at this. Look how big that is. We might have to move him down a little bit. Okay, it just depends on the time of day. You could even try, you know, turning your paper. Well, he's going way high. So if your figure is tall, you could always turn your paper. You see that? I kind of like it turned. So it just depends on your animal. Let's move him down. And I want to leave some room for some plants because I want to draw the dinosaur in his habitat. Okay? Now look at this one. This one's shorter, right? So I could turn my paper this way. So here's some examples of dinosaurs. Now I don't have any sea animals, farm animals, or domestic animals, but I do have some wild animals. Again, the giraffe is too tall, so then you would turn your paper this way. Look at that. You could put two animals if you'd like, okay? Hanging out together. I am going to just draw one just to show you an example. So you can create habitats for your animals. All right? So I'm going to go with the dinosaur. I'm really liking that right now. And remember, you should have your paper and pencil ready to go. So what I'm going to do is trace with my pencil the shadow. Oh, this is so neat. I've never done this before. Trace the shadow onto your paper. And if it moves, you can just move it back. Now, dinosaurs live where there's lots of plants, okay, grass, maybe even some mountains, plateaus, different areas. They were prehistoric animals. So I can draw some of those, even volcanoes in my background. Okay, if you have a sea animal, well, are you going to draw grass? No, correct. You were going to draw water. Now I could use my eraser and kind of, you know, fix the tail and the feet. If you have, let's see, a farm animal, like a cow or, let's see, a horse, what could you draw in the background? Well, we have farms around where I live. Would you have lots of mountains or probably flatlands? Probably flatlands of grass. Let's put this back to see if I could. There we go. And you could even have a barn maybe if you have a farm animal. What keeps the animals together? Maybe you can draw a fence in your picture. Okay? And if you have, so let's see, we talked about what? We talked about sea animals, farm animals, dinosaurs, which are prehistoric animals. Look, I'm going to put it back. Now that's two of his feet together. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw two legs here. And then I could draw one more here. All right, so the only habitats we haven't really mentioned were if you had, wild animals like giraffes and elephants. You could always put them in a zoo if you want, or you can draw them in their natural habitat. Lots of grasslands, maybe a pond or something, or a lake. Okay, so I'm going to use my imagination now. I know that this dinosaur likes to eat plants. So now this is where you can be very creative and you can just draw what you think plants and trees would look like, okay? I'm going to draw some trees here with some curvy lines. I just want you to be creative here and not really worry about what things look like or how it's going to come out. I want you to draw your own version of what you think plant life should look like. And I'm going to color all of this green. These are going to be all of my leaves surrounding my tree trunk because he is going to be eating parts of the leaves of that tree. I could even put some grass on the bottom. So instead of having like sand or a desert, we're going to have grass. Okay? And then I'm going to put some clouds in the sky. So my sky is going to be blue because I want it to be daytime. And I could even put the sun maybe behind the clouds. You can create whatever type of sky that you want. I could put some more grass here. Maybe some tall grass coming behind him. And this is all going to be green. So now I can get really creative and draw the animal in its habitat. And I just want to tell you, as we're finishing up our animal habitat, that at any time if you need to stop the video, you can. Now what I did was I went ahead and zoomed in closer so you can see. And when I did that, I didn't really care for how I drew the grass. So I erased it and kind of redrew my grass, and I just want to show you. Typically you have curvy lines and straight lines. I had some, I guess, more bumpy, more wavy lines, which are kind of like curvy. But now I want to make my grass have more of a point. So, you know, you can draw your grass however you want, if you even have grass. So I'm going to put some in front of my tree. So I went ahead and erased and redrew some of the grass. And I'm going to just have the grass going behind his legs. So you can kind of alter your picture. That's what's cool about art. You know, if you don't like something, you could always change it. I want to make my grass go a little bit higher. Okay? So now I'm finished. And keep in mind, your sky, like I went ahead and put a sun and clouds. I want to have a daytime sky with the sun being yellow. You could have a sunset sky. What color is the sky when it's sunset? Maybe pink, yellow, orange. You could also have a nighttime sky. What color is the sky in the night? Well, it's black, right? What could you put if it was nighttime? You could have clouds, right? You could have what? I'm gonna add some more clouds. You could have stars in the sky, or even a moon. Okay, so now it's time to color. I want my dinosaur, I want him to be brown. So, and I'm choosing markers. Okay, you could have crayons. You could have colored pencils. You can have really whatever you like. I'm going to trace them first. I like tracing my picture when I'm using markers before I color it. And if you want to, you could even use markers to trace and then color with crayons. That would be neat too. I wonder what animal you chose to draw today. Did you draw maybe a farm animal? Like a pig or a sheep? I guess it depends on what kind of animal figurine toy you had, huh? Did you have a shark maybe? Or a whale? Which would be a sea animal? Or what if you had maybe a lion or a tiger? Which would be a wild animal. And if you had a wild animal, would you put them in the safari with tall grass or a jungle? Or would you put them in a zoo so you can look at them? Where would you put your wild animals? Maybe you had a monkey that you drew. Or what else? Maybe a flamingo or a polar bear, even a koala bear. Or maybe you had some toy cats and dogs, maybe even a bunny rabbit for your pets that you would keep at home. Now that would be neat. What could you draw for your animal habitat for your dog or cat? You could draw their house, right? Now I'm just coloring in. You can choose whatever colors you want. I kind of want to make it look like a real picture. And I think many dinosaurs could be brown and green and maybe even yellow or orange. So I'm just going to color him brown. I'm not really sure, but I'm taking a good guess that he would be brown. And I'm trying to take my time and make it neat and stay inside the lines. Now, if I'm going too fast, you could always press pause. And if you can't really tell the difference between the outside of your drawing and the inside, you could always use black to outline, because that's a really good color to show the border of something. Now my tree is brown too, so I'm going to trace my tree. Remember I told you I like to trace first, and then I could color it. And what I like about markers, if you have markers, is that they glide on pretty easy, because it has ink on the inside, so it doesn't take as long. And I like coloring up and down in the direction of the tree, because that's the way the bark is going. See that? All right, so then I'm just gonna color. I think that looks good. I'm gonna color my green leaves next. And I remember I just kind of drew a bunch of squiggly lines, because I know all of this is gonna be the leaves coming off of that tree all together. See, I can just kind of go in a circle because it's all mixed up. Good. So if you drew a dinosaur, I'm wondering, what would you have drawn for the dinosaur's habitat? Would you have put a volcano in the background? Or maybe a canyon, which is kind of reddish orange rocks, mountainous rocks? Would you have put mountains in the background? Or a bunch of trees and grass, making a forest? There's so many choices. And even your sky, maybe you want to make a sunset sky. So you can be very creative with the kind of sky that you make. Well, that's coming out really good. So far I have the grass and the tree. All right, I went ahead and zoomed in my picture even more for you to see. Now I'm going to focus on my sky. It's time to color my sun. Now, since it is a daytime sky and it's nice and sunny, I have white clouds. I don't want to put any storm clouds. There's no rain, there's no storm. You can put storm clouds if you want to, because this is the creative part. This is where you get to be creative. But since I don't have storm clouds, I'm leaving them white. So that means I'm going to take my blue and I am going to color the sky around it. So I'm just gonna go around this, because I don't want to color inside of my clouds. Now you can have any shade of blue. I happen to have a light blue. If you only have a dark blue marker, and you don't want to use a dark blue, then you could always use a crayon instead and color lightly. Because remember what I said, the marker has ink, so it's just going to come out how it does. All right, so now I'm going to color the sky. which is all the way at the top. And I'm going to show you a little trick. Okay? Now, it doesn't take long. That's the wonderful thing about markers. It glides right on. I am super happy with my animal habitat. And, you know, keep in mind, you could always make more of these. You can maybe put 2 animals together. You can put a whole entire family in a picture. Depends on what kind of toys you have, but I bet you have some neat toys at home. I'm sure you do. But I think the toy figurines work the best because they're nice and hard. The hard plastic toy figurines are the best for creating your shadow. All right, so now I'm going to finish up my sky. Let me show you. I'm going to come all the way down to my clouds. I'm going to show you a little trick. Now, a lot of people your age tend to stop here, okay? You think, all right, I colored the sky. It's up there. And then you colored the grass, but then there's this white space. Do you see this white space? Guess what? That is going to be the rest of the sky because my grass already ended. There's something called a horizon line where the horizon is where the sky looks like it touches the ground. So we don't see white in the sky, do we? So you just have to bring that sky, this is the trick, all the way down till it touches the grass. And this is how it's going to make it look like a real picture. Okay? Now notice, am I coloring up and down for the sky? No. I'm coloring side to side because the sky, you know, in a landscape picture, it goes side to side. So I guess you can call this a landscape, which is a picture of the land and the sky. Same with the tree. You know, the tree is up and down. We color that way. All right, so I'm going to get all the white areas. I'm going to fill all that up. Get some here. I'm liking this, and I am almost finished. And here is my dinosaur that I drew the shadow of. I traced his shadow that the sun made, and I put him in his habitat. And after I drew his habitat, which is where he lives, I decided to color it. I'm just going back and kind of getting some little areas that I see. And I think, notice how I colored the grass up and down, because that's what the grass does. I am super, super happy with my picture. And I hope you enjoyed making your shadow puppet animal in its habitat with me today. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed the lesson today. I, along with the other PACE artists from the Acadiana Center for the Arts, will be posting a new lesson every day at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for kindergarten, first, and second grades. Each grade is tied into the academic curriculum. Some lessons will be in visual arts and some lessons will be in dance, also known as creative movement. So be sure to come back and make art with us tomorrow. If you are interested in supporting programs like this, you can always donate to the Acadiana Center for the Arts, which is the nonprofit organization who manages this PACE program, using the link in the description. Please help keep our teaching artists working, share our videos, and keep making art. If you are interested in booking a private lesson with me, my email is in the description box below. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.